Hi, you guys. This is Aqua Moonlight. Thank you so much for stopping by. So, Happy New Year one more time. I hope you guys are having a nice start to the new year. So, I really wanted to come on here and do, like I mentioned in my last video, I wanted to kind of, get back to doing different types of readings other than just the zodiac sign. So, I used to do a variety of different readings. And so, I felt really pulled to do a divine feminine reading because it's been a very long time since I've done a divine feminine reading. And, I think there's a lot of feminines right now on this path who are really ready to go into a different direction or who are really ready to put the focus back on themselves. And that's really been reflected in a lot of the comments that I've received and seeing different readers as well. I think a lot of feminines are beginning to kind of want that for themselves. And so I thought it would be a really good time with the new year too, to just kind of tap into spirit here for the divine feminines. So I'm sort of targeting a specific group. Obviously, this could be for any divine feminine. If you resonate with the label of divine feminine or just being on a journey, just being a feminine energy on a journey. Maybe you're just trying to tune more into your own feminine side if you are masculine. But this is for those of you who have been either on the journey for a while or it's just been a very intense journey for you and you're just looking for a new direction. You're looking for a new vitality, a new beginning. Um, and so you're not necessarily still holding on to your twin flame or to another person. It's just kind of one of those things where you're just leaving it to spirit and you're moving forward. So if you're in that boat, if you're in that category, let's go ahead and see, what does the year hold for us? What does the year hold for divine feminines? So we're just going to flow with this, we're just going to leave it open to see what does spirit want us to know. And yeah, so what can we expect for those feminines on that path? And we'll just leave it open. So it could be about love. I will go in a little bit to love here. It could be about career. It could just be about growth. So whatever comes up, we're going to take that. And yes, all right. So let's go ahead and just set the intention here to get the energy in. If you want to set your own intention, you can. So Spirit, please use me as a direct and clear channel for the divine feminine collective. So anybody who is walking down a new path, willing to open new doors, for any feminines out there who are tuning into the reading, what is in store this year? What path are we currently walking? What do we need to know about what's coming in for divine feminines? All right, let's see. Let's see. So divine feminines, what is the energy, spirit, please? Can you show me what's coming in for divine feminines this year? Where are you presently at? What is the energy surrounding the feminine collective? Okay, we have Angel of Self-Worth. You are currently undervaluing yourself. It is time to regain your self-worth. You are being encouraged to expand your thinking. Angel of the Universe. So, I feel like this is definitely, of course, with the self-worth to come through, this is about expanding our thinking. So a lot of you are being asked right now to look at the bigger picture is what I'm getting with this. So it's sort of like with this Angel of Universe here. Yeah, Angel of Space clearing. It's time to clear your energy of old negative thoughts and feelings. And I was picking this up actually before I began the reading. I was feeling a lot of heart chakra, so a lot of heart chakra pain or pressure. So some of you may have been going through that, a lot of heart chakra just cleansing and clearing and of heaviness here. So this is a time this year to really expand your thinking. And it's more about, it's not necessarily your thinking in terms of, knowledge. I think this is more about expanding. How do you view yourself? How do you view the situation? How do you hold on to negative, maybe mindsets or negative thoughts about yourself, about your self-worth, about your body, whatever that is. And so it's time to clear that, is what Spirit's saying. So this is going to be a time for expansion with this star that's on top of her head here too. This is about really recognizing your worth, recognizing your, your divinity here as a divine feminine. And so this is going to be an important aspect of the year here to remember that. So if you find yourself slipping back into maybe negative thinking, or it's something to work on, it's something that I feel is going to help to lift your vibration. Angel of love in reverse. So I feel this is going to be a test. It's a test to expand your thinking, because sometimes when we keep the same mindsets over and over, it actually keeps in our body, and it keeps manifesting in our life. So we could attract the same types of people, go through the same circumstances, and it really does come down to undervaluing who we are. And so this is a time for expansion. Let's see what else. Any other messages? What's coming in this year, Spirit, please, for Divine Feminine Collective? Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is really, we have, obviously here is pretty self-explanatory. We have deceit, we have anxiety, and we have angel of balance in reverse. And this is a tough lesson. I think, everybody goes through it, including myself. And most of you are aware that this has been a lesson, but especially since I'm wanted to target those feminines who have been in the situation. Look how clear this is. Contract in reverse, the thinking woman in reverse. So this relationship, whether it's a twin flame or whatever the label is, it has taken a toll on how you feel about yourself in many different ways. Maybe it's just subconsciously, maybe it's an actual, abusive type of connection here. But with this angel of balance in reverse, this is kind of like a temperance energy too. Something has been off balance within, primarily what Spirit's saying is your thought process about yourself, maybe even just the entire connection, maybe life in general, but I think most importantly yourself. And so this is really a time to really connect with, how are you, it's sort of like, how are you still thinking about a situation? So if you're replaying the same events, or if you're stuck in the same mindset here with the anxiety and the deceit card, or maybe even having too much fear that this is going to keep happening in your life, this is an aspect that's unbalanced in a lot of us. And I think this is going to be the year to redefine that. And that's why Spirit's reminding you here to declutter your old mentality, to really bring this back into alignment, because it's actually going to cause repetitive patterns. It's going to cause the same types of situations. And even, with the actual connection with twin flame or with your counterpart, for those of you who may want that in the future, even if you're going on your own path, it's still the fact that there's this contract that has been consuming a lot of space within the mind. And so see how the anxiety, the thinking woman, that's kind of like a 9 of Swords energy to me. So this contract in reverse is speaking to the fact that there has been this contract, there has been this tie, the justice, the scales, the six, the past, the blindfold, that has kept things balanced, balance, 2 cards of balance. And so what Spirit's saying is that this year, you are going to expand your thinking, but you have to also, do the work too, but you are going to expand your thinking. This is about understanding the whole picture, like an eagle. I'm getting an eagle. So just understanding things from a higher perspective, not just the petty things or the facts that are right in front of you, if that makes sense. It's about taking a deeper look at the bigger picture. Why did this happen? Why did you meet this person? What was the lesson in the situation? And really clearing those old habits or those old thoughts that keep demeaning yourself and your self-worth. Because it's time to rise up. It's time to move forward. And the way that you're going to do that is through this, is through releasing those attachments around your thinking. Definitely. That's a very strong message. Let's see what else. And it's also the contract that we have within other people too, not just, your divine masculine energy, but this is about contracts that have just in general, maybe our own, not necessarily contract, but in a way, it's like the relationship that we have with ourselves, and maybe even other people who have been a part of our life. There's just a feeling of understanding that this is not a reflection of us. This is other people's behaviors should have no influence on the way that we feel about ourselves, which is really hard to do. But I think that's what Spirit's indicating here. And I'm getting additional message too that it's sort of, I guess I already said that, but it's sort of like, even if there's like this worry that this is going to keep happening. And it stems from that, it comes from not feeling that you deserve it. So for example, if you feel that you don't deserve a new love, or if you feel like you don't deserve the right person, then it's not going to happen. And the reason is because you don't believe that within yourself. So you're manifesting the same type of character, or you're manifesting no love, or it's just the feeling of breaking the pattern, breaking the chain here, not just with another person, but within your own like contract within yourself. Anything else for divine feminine spirit? What do we need to know, please? Immune support. So this is, not just health-wise. It could be health-wise too, because our energy does obviously get affected by that. But this is just your immune within this star. Again, I'm being drawn to just like feeling that strong sense of self, that strong support, indestructible energy, Anything else, Spirit, for divine feminines? Wow, look at that. Freedom, the wildflower. I love that. And we have good luck. So cleanse and purify. So yeah, this is really clear. And I think it's not really a surprising message. I'm sure a lot of you have been feeling this way. But this is just a reminder that you are a wildflower. I love wildflowers because they're wild. They're free. And so this is a time to really, it's like with that expand your thinking. It's very clear here, this blue. So maybe connecting with blues, connecting with throat chakra, third eye chakra here. This is going to be a time to really expand. How do you feel free? How do you allow yourself to be free? How do you allow yourself to blossom in multiple ways, within love, within yourself, within career, and to find that wildflower, find that freedom to be free, because there is an energy here that is not free with the contract and the anxiety and the space clearing and the deceit. It's like it's been kind of stuck on your aura. It's been ingrained in you. And especially for those of you who have been through a very difficult situation, or toxic, or maybe not with your divine masculine, but with karmic partners or whoever. It's just like there's a feeling of having to understand that this confinement that you have been in is not reality. This is reality for you, is to be free. And I feel like there's luck on your side. We have good luck here. So there's a lot of luck, but it's going to require this immune, it's going to require strength. It's going to require that understanding that we are creating this ourselves. So when our vibration is too low, then our immune system, not just from a health standpoint, but like spiritually, our immune system, if that's even a thing, it declines, and so we have to expand that. We have to understand that. It's taking responsibility for your life, taking responsibility for your actions. What else for divine feminine spirit this year, please? What's coming in for divine feminine collectives on this path, on this journey, starting anew? So it's going to be really important to create a sacred space. This is about, we have create sacred space, we have white light, we have firefly illumination. So look how much this is here. However, I feel like there's this very ungrounded energy, and that's connected to the anxiety card here too. And so what Spirit's telling you is that it's going to be important to create a very sacred space this year, whether this is like an altar or, you just want to create your own kind of like your emotional sacred space to where you're not going to be touched by these energies. You're not going to be touched or influenced. See, there's something about like, I'm visualizing this to see, and then you have the immune support. There's this like flame around you to where you can't be touched. However, there's a feeling of not having the sacred space. The energy is being kind of spread out because of our thoughts. So it's very powerful with our thoughts, because sometimes that can actually invite those energies into our life, into our aura. So it's sort of like creating a more boundaries is I guess is boundaries, but it's more than boundaries. It's like a spiritual boundary, protection here to create this sacred space to cleanse. Because some of you, Spirit's just reminding you of this, is that there is a need here to ground yourself in reality, and to ground yourself back to, maybe the earth here, and just with the core of who you are, the identity of who you are. Some of you have kind of lost yourself in this process. And I do think with this earth energy in reverse, it has kind of taken you away from your divine feminine essence, Mother Earth here being grounded. There's some disconnection here with the anxiety. It's too much in the clouds, too much in the air. And so I feel like with the sacred space and the white, this is time to set aside this year, allowing cleansing to happen, allowing cleansing here to occur. And so it's going to be kind of the start of the year is what I'm feeling, to make sure that you're purifying before you enter into the new year, before you bring this into the new year. Because with this sacred space and the white light, to allow yourself to find this illumination in the darkness. There's this like firefly illumination lighting up here, the solar plexus too. And this is the illumination that's shedding light on the whole situation. This is the eagle coming through, is what I'm hearing. Or I don't know, there's like a connection here to a higher perspective, or to an eagle. And so it's like this expansion here is the illumination of the fact that you are not trapped. You are not a trapped wildflower. Deep perspective in reverse. Again, expand the thinking, deep perspective. So this is more of like an advice here, but I feel like Spirit's reminding us again here, just keep repeating it because I feel like it's important, to understand that it is about taking a deeper look, taking a deeper dive into why this is happening, taking a close look at this, rather than looking at it from the old viewpoint of, well, I'm not good enough, that's why this person doesn't want me, or I'm always going to attract the same types of people, that sort of thing. And I feel like the sacred space to cleanse and to connect with Spirit is going to be very essential. Stand up to the elements, because there's this illumination happening this year with the firefly. The fireflies always glow in the darkness. So it's like you're being asked to become the firefly, to understand your light from within, to shine that light, and to not let that be scattered because of your thinking, or because somebody else defined that for you in the past. I feel like a lot of you are going to have a big spiritual kind of epiphany this year, if you haven't already. A second one or a third one, just because of this process, of this kind of cleansing process, of this purification. And so it's like you're going to be getting an awakening with the firefly. Like I'm hearing for some of you, it's like when you understand it from a higher perspective, that's going to be when you have the awakening. So maybe you're just coming into this realization. Maybe you've been kind of, rolling in the same type of mud for a while. I don't know why I heard that. It's weird. Rolling in the same type of mud. So it's like you've been going round and round in the same energy for some of you without finding the outlet or the way out. And you're going to have this sort of like light bulb moment. And if you haven't, Spirit's asking you to have this light bulb moment by looking at it deeper. You are not a victim. Wow. See the higher purpose. See, look at that. See the higher purpose. Find the little joys. So I kept seeing this card a lot when I was shuffling. This is about gratitude. This is about finding gratitude in the small things, not focusing on the, the things that are maybe no more, the things that are no longer in our lives. There's something about rewiring the mind here. So maybe some of you might benefit from like a, I don't know, like subconscious clearing or rewiring things, working with spirit, working with law of attraction to begin to see the illumination. See, this yellow is standing out from the rest of the cards because we're no longer defining ourselves in deceit or in that type of energy. So once we cleanse, we're going to have this big epiphany moving forward. Yeah, connect with spirit. They really wanted that card to come out. So connect with spirit. Really ask spirit for cleansing. I'm getting that as well with the white light and the create sacred space. Whatever your faith is or whatever your belief system is, really ask, really pray and ask for that help to assist you. If you're lost, if you can't find the way, the firefly will illuminate you in the darkness. So you have to create a sacred space though, somehow, even if it's just in your mind. Because if you don't create that sacred space, it kind of leaks out. So what's coming in for feminines this year, Spirit? Oh my God, these cards are so in alignment. Wow, I can't believe it. Wash away the old. We have balance your emotions. We have the word balance, I think 3 times here. And then we have appreciate the mystery of life. I mean, this is really what it is. I feel like with the wash away the old, obviously that's what's been coming through. But balance the emotions, it's kind of like we're in between 2 different worlds. And this came through for my, I had posted a dream that I had too. It's kind of connected in a way. This is about appreciating what's next is not necessarily in our view. We don't always know what's next. We have to find the little joys in the moment. We have to focus on what we have currently. We have to expand our thinking to allow the mystery to take place, because I feel like there's, with this create sacred space too, there's a disconnection with, for some of you, with trusting the path that's unfolding for you. So you could find yourself in fear or fretting over, where are things going to go, or maybe in love, or maybe within your life, or maybe you're going through a deep transformation. And it's kind of scary to not see the way out or not see through the fog. And so I'm getting here that there's a need to balance the emotions and to understand that we can't define what's going to happen next. And so that will be, that's going to be healed through creating a sacred space and finding center and finding a place to, like a place to devote yourself to spirit. Like I'm getting a lot of you enhancing your spiritual practice and enhancing your connection to whoever, you connect to spiritually. We have listen closely and speak wisely. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. This reading really wanted to come out. Break the chains that bind you and spice up your routine. Yeah, I feel like there's like spirit just like pushing these cards out of me. I'm not even shuffling them. This has been a long time coming, I guess, this reading. But I do feel like with this break the chains that bind you, obviously is connected. Spice up your routine. It's time to find a new routine, find a new flow, expand your thinking, spice up your routine. So whatever has been done so far, for those of you who are not seeing progress, or if you're not happy, or if you find yourself still kind of feeling those unworthy thoughts or, anxiety here, this is needing to be restructured by doing something different, maybe finding a different hobby, finding a new hobby, stepping outside of your comfort zone, expanding who you are. Because once you step outside into the unknown, Spirit's going to reward this. Spirit's going to reward you. We never know what's on the other end until we explore it. So really this year, work with your emotions too, with balancing the emotions, the anxiety card, the emotions. And for those of you who've already, surpassed this, then I feel like that's great. Then you're just being asked to trust in, the next chapter. I'm going to get a few cards for that in a minute here. But if you still find yourself, which everybody does at some point, but if you still find yourself kind of unbalanced or feeling like you're still in between this world and the next world, then this is what the advice is for you. Divine Feminine Spirit 2021. You see these cards? They're just flying. We have Take Charge with Authority, the Lord. So that's a very masculine energy too. And I feel like this is going to require an approach that has been different, especially for those of you who have been more in the feminine energy, maybe not wanting to take risks, not wanting to take chances, not trusting in your authority, taking charge here. So this is going to be a time to do that. What's coming in for feminines this year in 2021? Yes, it's time to set your sights higher. Like the first card said, some of you have been undervaluing yourself. We have set your sights higher and enjoy success and happiness. We have to raise the bar about what we're accepting into our lives, raise the bar about what we are allowing to shake up our water. So it's like we have this still water and then something comes along and triggers us. And it's like we're being given this chance to move into calmer, stiller waters. But we have to also understand that we have to set our sights higher. So remember to set your sights higher, because this happiness is awaiting when you do that. Yes, trust in higher forces, the shaman. This is this connection to the spiritual realm, this connection to the unseen. Trust the mystery of life. Look at this. So I feel like this is a really powerful message too. If you feel lost and if you feel afraid to take that step, you have to understand that you deserve more than where you're currently at. Again, not that you're unhappy or that life is terrible, but this is about just knowing that there's more on your journey that's ahead for you, whatever it's going to be. If it's going to be like super positive all the time, probably not. But there is a feeling here, or Spirit's telling you that you can have more happiness than you're having now, or you can have more abundance than you're having now. But you have to trust in taking the step to the leap of faith here. So if this means having to, go into the direction of, like, for an example, a new career, maybe a new relationship, maybe trying to connect with new people, maybe doing something new spiritually. If you're afraid that you're going to lose your journey of where you've been, or maybe some of you are afraid that you're going to lose your counterpart, your divine masculine, it's not about that. It's about trusting in the unknown, trusting in the mystery. It's not even a mystery, it's spirit. Drop your shields. Drop the guards that are keeping you from trusting. Okay, drop the guards that are keeping you in a state of fear that this is going to happen again, or that you deserve this, or that you are not worthy of more than this, that sort of thing. You have to drop the shields that you have on that and to become the wildflower. So I'm going to pull a few cards from the Romance Angels. I just want to see what comes up in love. Let's see here. What did I do with them? Oh, here it is. So what is possibly coming in love for the collective divine feminines for the year ahead, Spirit? What do we need to understand about love? What's coming in for divine feminines this year in love? Codependency in reverse. So codependency sideways here. We're still flowing through this, and this is, again, it's not something that I feel is abnormal. I think this is definitely, with me included, this has been a struggle to be an empath and to be very sensitive and to at the same time balance your emotions. And so we're currently on this verge of releasing the codependency. And that's why Spirit's telling you here that you deserve more than that, to set your sights higher than where you've been and what you have allowed. We have honeymoon and we have romantic feelings in reverse. I think this is talking about some of you. This may be particular for some of you or specific for some of you, but if not, this is talking about, maybe this is about a situation that's very short-lived. This could be somebody who, for example, maybe contacts you in and out, or somebody who travels towards you periodically here, but they don't give you more than that. With the romantic feelings in reverse, there is a feeling here of not fully, being in for the long term here. And so it's about requiring more than just a holiday time, or requiring more than just a time in between. It's about having the whole thing. What's coming in love for divine feminines? Stay optimistic about your love life. We have unrequited love in reverse beneath that. This is coming out of unrequited love, feeling like things are going to leave us just as soon as they come in. So we have to stay optimistic about our love life this year. So I feel like for most of you, it's not going to be like an immediate new connection coming in. This is going to be more of a transitional time to heal, to I feel like some of you too, with romantic feelings here in reverse, maybe you have how should I say, maybe you have like not felt that you could be worthy of real love or real feelings, or you felt like you didn't have that in return. So for example, kind of like, because it says your feelings are real and worth expressing. So it's like you may have felt that your feelings were not real, or that somebody else did not have real feelings for you. And that's part of the optimistic here, to be optimistic about this, to know that you can say how you feel, you can feel how you feel. You don't have to hide how you feel, or push down how you feel. There's just something about the emotional aspect here that is off balance. From the very beginning, we had the balance in reverse, the balance your emotions, the codependency. So there's something about the validity of your emotions, your feelings, that you don't think is real, or you don't think anybody else could feel that towards you, for some of you. Yeah, Page of Cups in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse. I'm also getting too, for a lot of feminines, that there has been putting up a very rigid wall. And what's happening is that this rigid wall is actually surrounding you, right? So it's like you put up this wall, but in the middle of the heart, there's these emotions that are overflowing. There's these emotions that are like a storm. Like I'm picturing this emotions here are within your heart, and this is kind of what you want to express, or what you want to feel, but you have cut off your emotions because of being hurt. And so it's like there's this fire that's around you, around your just like around your aura, and then there's this soft, like internal energy inside that you either don't show, or that you try to hide, or that you're struggling with just on a personal level. So it's like there's a strong need for balance this year when it comes to knowing that it's okay to love, knowing that it's okay to feel, and also not holding back on potential new love, or not holding back because sometimes we can make excuses for ourselves that we're not, like, we don't want love, but really it's coming from a place of maybe being very hurt, or maybe being very cold somehow here. There's a lack of optimism within love. Some of you have lost your optimism that you can find your partner, or that you can, and so what Spirit's saying is, once again, to trust in the mystery that's unfolding, because if you don't move from point A to point B, then you'll never see what could have been over there. What's coming in for Divine Feminines this year? Nine of Swords. I'm not surprised that came out. Wow. Ten of Swords in reverse with the Fool. The Nine of Swords, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Three of Cups reversed. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. The way that I'm seeing this here is that some of you have lost your confidence, or maybe it's not your confidence, maybe it's your belief in the new, because we have the Ten of Swords with the Fool here in reverse. So this is pretty much like the whole reading has been. It's coming out of pain. It's coming out of betrayal for some of you, or it's coming out of just hitting rock bottom. And there's this storm brewing within you that wants to be released. It's like I'm getting a lot of horse energy here too. With the Fool here, this is about wanting to release this energy, wanting to have a new beginning, but at the same time, something about not trusting it. Nine of Swords, Three of Cups reversed. Maybe some of you have just become very distrustful of people, of new acquaintances, of maybe new romantic options, or some of you could have been in a third-party situation, so that it really took a toll on your self-confidence because you blamed yourself. Yeah, Four of Cups with the Queen of Cups reverse. Emotions again here. This is about missed opportunities, rejection, feeling that we have been rejected because we're not good enough. And that may not be for all of you, but I think for some of you it is. And even if we're not conscious of it, it can kind of stay stored, in our heart. And so we have to let the walls down and trust, because Spirit has a greater plan than you realize, than you think. So let's see here. So I didn't expect this reading to be so long, but I guess when Spirit wants to talk, then when they want to talk. Let's get a few more here. Yeah, we have here unexpected meeting, fated coming together, and divine timing. It's like there's something here about a fated event, or something that's pending here. The free self, finding inner peace and embracing independence. I mean, that's pretty much summarized the same thing too. This is about finding independence, it's not just independence, because there's a difference, because we can say we're independent, but sometimes there's more anger, or more blockages than we think. So we can kind of stay in this rigid Queen of Swords character and say that we're free or that we're independent, but on the inside, there's this like turbulent water. And so I feel that that's what's being balanced here, is having to actually find inner peace. And I'm hearing it's before we meet the fated event. So it's like Spirit's preparing a fated event, a fated person, a somebody whoever this is that's meant to be in your life. There's a fated event unfolding here, but the lesson is finding freedom, but not just freedom, finding freedom within, like I said, just authentic freedom, not masking freedom. What's coming in for Divine Feminines this year? Yep, we have a sweet arrival, fairy tales coming true, and romantic gestures. Some of you are having dreams about this. We have dream talk. Meeting in the astral plane, lucid dreaming, so close yet so far, complex separation, holding on but letting go. And we have with your ghost, haunting memories. So I do feel like this part is going to be about your divine masculine for a lot of you, because, of course, this is a very intense thing to be separated here. For some of you, there is a feeling of, and you would know this within your intuition, you've been going through these lessons, you've been going through all of this, and Spirit's preparing you for possibly, only for some of you, I think, to maybe come back together, or to maybe reach some form of connection or some form of union. And you would be having a lot of dreams, a lot of signs, a lot of synchronicities that this time is coming. But what Spirit is saying is that you have to be authentic in your freedom. You have to be authentic in the fact that you're no longer codependent, or that you don't need somebody just to have them, if that makes sense. So it's basically finding wholeness, but Spirit's preparing you for this. But you have to also trust that the minute that you let go, either this divine counterpart will come in when the fated meeting is time, when Spirit commands, or when Spirit says it's time, or you're going to be replaced with the right person, the right, the person who is meant for you. But until we can kind of detach from it and see that letting go just means loving ourselves wholly and not being stuck in that anxiety that came through before, then it's going to be held back from us from the very beginning. Expand your thinking. So if we stay in a closed-minded mindset, if we stay in the same rigid mindset, then this shift is not going to happen, or it's going to be delayed for us, because Spirit's telling you here that this is the key to understanding that we are actually going to have what we want in some form that's going to make us content. And for those of you who are not in that category, then you could just be getting very sort of bombarded in your dream state, connected to your divine masculine here, and that it's really, really taking a toll on you. And there's not much else to do other than that, than to, just continue to move forward. It's always going to be a part of your life. So I wanted to actually I was very pulled to use these messages of closure. So this is from All Things Intuitive. And for most of you, I'm sure this is going to be from your, divine masculine, but whoever it's going to be from, you can set your own intention. Whatever is holding you back, whatever message you need to hear that you feel like you don't have closure. So for most, it's probably your twin flame, but whoever it is, if you feel like you don't have closure from the situation, we're going to see what messages come through. That's going to help to allow us to take this leap of faith. Help allow us to let the pain go. Let the pain go. So Spirit, what are the messages of closure from whoever you need to hear this from right now, whatever intention you've set to find a message of closure? What are the messages that they need to hear from a specific person to assist them in moving forward? What are the messages of closure, Spirit, from their person that they're thinking of? Okay, we have I didn't know how to comfort you. We have sometimes I didn't know what to do. And at the bottom we have I regret my poor choices. Beneath that, I wasn't thinking. So I feel like this may have been somebody here. I didn't know how to comfort you. Maybe this was somebody who didn't know how to emotionally be there for you. Sometimes I didn't know what to do. And I feel like this could have contributed to the pain too. Some of you may have felt like, maybe you were not emotionally feeling comforted, or you were not emotionally in tune because something has made the balance be off. And so with the codependent relationship too, we want to kind of take from somebody, or we need that kind of validation. And so I feel like somebody here wants you to know that they just didn't know how to maybe handle emotions. They didn't know how to be there for you more than maybe just a friend, or more than just, whatever it was. What is the message of closure that the Divine Feminines need to hear? There's a lot of, yeah, see, I was uncomfortable showing emotion. And we hear, I don't know why. So there's a lot of I don't knows here. I cared too much about others' opinions. So this is just somebody who didn't know why they acted the way that they did. It was nothing about you, or wasn't a reflection of you. Maybe they were too afraid of what other people thought. But I'm getting primarily this is somebody who's just very confused. It's like when you're confused with your own emotions, when you don't understand how to process your own emotions, then you don't understand how you treat people, or you don't take into consideration how you treat people. So I'm getting somebody who is kind of clueless, like that this person, whoever this is, didn't really understand your perspective, or they didn't understand your light. And they don't know why. So let's get the final messages of advice, and then I'm going to pull the tea leaf cards, and then we're just going to see what the themes are this year for you. So what's the final advice right now for Divine Feminine Spirit? Let me grab those. Yes, here they are. We have here, stay graceful and poised even when triggered by others. Know that you cannot change the behavior of others, only your response. Stick with your integrity and think before you speak. Okay, so that's going together. We have, you are meant to blossom at this stage in your life, and you may find that you will be getting more attention, recognition, and experiencing heightened energy and momentum. Enjoy this moment. Do not give up on something that you really want right now. There's an obstacle or uphill climb that you are facing, but this is only a test. What you want, you will achieve. Keep going. I think that goes together perfectly, because this is about not being triggered by other people, like we had said in the beginning, not taking that personally, not taking that as a toll of our own self-worth. And that's the primary lesson of this journey right now. Because some of you are going to, when you keep going, when you don't give up on your growth, on yourself, on love, there's this flower that's waiting to blossom. It hasn't blossomed yet. It's like a lot of you are meant to blossom. You're meant to expand. You're meant to keep growing. And there again, I'm getting that same message that there's this feeling of maybe holding back on your growth subconsciously or even consciously, because you are still stuck in something, or still stuck in that mindset, connected to another person or other people. So create that sacred space this year. Be the wildflower. So let's get 5 of these tea leaf cards to just see what are the themes of the year for Divine Feminines, please. Spirit, what are the themes of the year for Divine Feminines? Let's get 5. What's ahead for 2021? The themes of the year for Divine Feminines. What's ahead? We have 2 months that came out. Let's get one more. Actually, let's get 2 more. What's ahead for Divine Feminines this year? Okay. Strong emotion, passionate love or hate. So I think this is connected to the strong passion, or it could be anger too. I mean, some of you that maybe it's that same thing about balancing the emotions. There's just something about that fire that needs to be extinguished. It needs to be calmed down. It kind of, there's a turbulence here that has to be worked through this year when it comes to maybe overreacting, or, maybe too much passion, too much hate. Let's see what else comes up here. Okay, we have a diamond. You'll be receiving a precious gift. Wow. We have March and we have January. So we're in January now. I don't know which one came out first, but it makes sense to say January. Something is shifting here with this strong emotion, passionate love or hate. And then maybe March, there's going to be a gift for some of you, a diamond. And then we have coins. Money will be coming to you. Wow, and we have flowers, happiness. So look at that. That's beautiful. So we have diamonds, coins, and flowers. What more could you ask for? And passion. So I feel like this is going to be definitely a time to find happiness. I mean, it's really ahead for you. So some of you are going to be receiving a gift. I'm not going to clarify it because I feel like it doesn't want to be clarified, but just know that there's some gift coming in for you that's going to replace what you thought was not going to bring you happiness, or what you were concerned that was not going to bring you happiness. So just to wrap up the message, try to control that, whatever it is, anxiety, anger, hurt, pain, because there's a blossoming of something that's clearly very happy here for you, and money on top of that here. That is a blessing in disguise. And that's why Spirit keeps encouraging you to not give up yet. See, not give up yet. Trust the mystery of life, because what's actually on your side and what's coming in for you is much greater than you thought was going to be. But it's going to require us to manifest that. It's going to require us to be in the energy of receiving it. If we're not, we're going to push it away. So I really hope that this could help you, Divine Feminines. I hope it could give you some clarity, maybe some comfort, some insight. So let's just close it up with, I keep going here, one last affirmation that you can carry with you. What is the affirmation for Divine Feminines right now? I am powerful, and I am present in my life. So I'll leave it there. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of the month. Best of luck and blessings on your journey. And I'll talk to you next time. Much love.